is a nice lesson because we kind of review all of it and make sure you get it this time. Okay, the first thing I want you to notice is we're talking about a system of linear inequalities. That means we're dealing with how many? 2 or more. And so I want you to write this down real quick. That's an awful brace. Let's start that again. Write the first inequality as y is less than or equal to x minus 1. And then a second inequality is y is greater than negative 2x plus 1. All right, the first thing you want to do in these problems is realize I want to find the solution to both of these inequalities at the same time. So what we're going to do is we're going to review graphing each one individually and see how we can combine it together for a final solution. But looking at this right here, does anyone know what form this is in? This is maybe the third week we talked about it. Yep, slope-intercept form. And this one? Slope-intercept form. You want in that form to start graphing, so let's go ahead and do that. Go 4 every way. That's really crooked, but we'll take it. Okay, let's see. Sophie, I'm looking at the first inequality. Do you remember how to start this graph for the first one? So where would I start?
You subtract x.
Okay, you're thinking maybe bring x over here, but it's already in the correct format. So where do you start your actual graph?
You go down negative 1.
Yeah, you start at negative 1 on the y-axis. That's where I start, at that y-intercept. If it's in slope-intercept form, boom, right there. What's the slope, Hudson?
Positive 1. So up 1 over to the right one.
Yeah, so the slope is right here. It's 1. So I go up 1 over 1, and just keep going. Up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. Or you can go down 1 to the left. What kind of line should I get here? Solid or dashed? They're all straight, but solid or dashed? Solid, because it says less than or equal to. And just connect those points right there with that solid line. Okay. Listen to me carefully. I said if I were just graphing the first line like you did over the weekend, would I shade above the line or below the line? Below because it says less than. So I would have shaded, don't write this in, please. Do not write this. I would have shaded this region right here. That would have been your homework for over the weekend. That's what you do if I only gave you 1. But I'm not giving you 1, I'm giving you 2. So I want you to go ahead and graph the second one on that same coordinate plane. Where would you start that one, Lana? Where would you start this graph? So where's your y-intercept? Yeah, it's just plus 1. So you start right here on the y-axis. And what's your slope, Jackson, on that second line?
1.
Your slope,
Negative 2.
-2. So I go down 2 over 1 to the right. I can go down 2 again, 1 to the right. Or I can go up 2 over 1 to the left. What kind of line should connect those, Brad? Dash line, because there's no equal to sign. So there's my dash line. Okay, don't do this next step, but if I were just graphing the second line on problems over the weekend, what region would I shade? Above or below this dash line? Above. I would have shaded this region right here. I would have done that. Don't do that on this problem yet. Okay, so that's how I would have done the weekend's homework. But I'm not asking for only one line or the other. I'm asking for both lines at the same time. So do you know how many regions were just created with my 2 lines? How many of you can give me? How many? 4 regions. I'm going to call This is not an official name. We're just going to call it. This is region A. It's all this. This is region B. This is region C. And this is region D. Okay? We just give it some letters. If I shade this region and this region, which region got shaded twice? I heard 3 people maybe. All right, how many say A? B. Okay, C. D. Okay, let me do that again, see if we can figure it out. All right, this line right here is the solid line. How do I know it's a solid line? Because it says it's equal to, right? So what would be below that? I'm going to shade this very lightly. I'm just shading that very lightly. Go ahead and do that. Just shade that region very, very lightly. Don't make it too dark because then it messes up your graph. Okay? Then I'm going to shade the region that's described by that graph, which is above the dashed line. So that would have been shade very lightly. This region. What region was shaded twice? I think most of you said it. C. So go ahead and shade that completely so you know what region is your actual answer. This C region is the solution to both of those inequalities at the same time. Okay, Michelle, can you give me any point in the C region? Just give me an ordered pair.
4, 1.
Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, she gave me 4, 1. That point right there is going to fit both of those inequalities at the same time if I shaded the correct region. What's 1 times 4? 4 minus 1. Is 1 less than or equal to 3? Yes. Okay. It checks. Does it check on the bottom one? What's negative 2 times 4? Negative 8 plus 1? Negative 7. Is 1 greater than negative 7? Yep. Does that point 4, 1 fit both of those inequalities at the same time? Yes. Can somebody tell me a point that will not work in either one of those points, in either one of those inequalities? Should not work in any of them. Andrew? Let's go here. Negative 1, 0. Negative 1, 0. Okay, let's check that one out. What's 1 times negative 1? Negative 1 minus 1. Negative 2. Is 0 less than or equal to negative 1? No, that doesn't work. What's negative 2 times negative 1?
2.
2 plus 1? 3. Is 0 greater than 3? Nope, doesn't work there. Can somebody give me a point that will work in one inequality but not the other? Is that a hand one? Okay, go ahead.
3, 4.
1, 2, 3. Sorry. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. So someone up here. 3, 4. All right. What's 1 times 3? 3 minus 1? Is 4 less than or equal to 3? 4 less than or equal to 3. Hold on, let me say that correctly. What's 3, 2? Sorry. Is 4 less than or equal to 2? No, it doesn't work on that one. Let's look at the bottom one. What's negative 2 times 3? Negative 6 plus 1? Negative 5. Is 4 greater than negative 5? Yes, it is. So do you see how it fits one of the inequalities but not both at the same time? I want to shade the region that fits both at the same time, and that's right here. That's this region right here. Okay, let's do another one. On page 181, on the try these, I want you to do number 1. So page 181, number 1 at the very bottom, try these. Go ahead and do that one, please. First, make sure that they're written in slope-intercept. Once you get it there, hopefully they're easy to graph. Okay, is the first inequality written in slope-intercept form? Yes, so we're good with that one. Look at the second inequality. Is that slope-intercept form? No? Can I make it slope-intercept? How do I do it? Josiah? So y is less than negative x plus 3. I just rearrange these terms right here, and I get that one down there. Okay, go ahead and start your graph, and I'll ask several of you for parts of the graph. Okay, I'm looking at the first inequality. Henry, how do I start? Where do I start my first graph?
Would you go down 4?
Down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, Gracie, where do I go from there on the first inequality?
You would go up 1 over 1.
Up 1 over 1 to the right. I'm going to go up 2 over 2. Up 1 over 1. What kind of line should I get there, Natalie?
Right now.
Okay, how do you know it's dashed or solid? The top one.
Oh.
It's a 50-50 on this one, but which one do you say? Final answer. It's solid because it has the equal to sign. All right, solid it is. Oh, but then that was it. Okay, and then Sam, where do I start my second graph? This one right here?
You go up 3.
Up 3, 1, 2, 3. Drew, where do I go from there?
Down 1 over 1.
Down 1 over 1 to the right, down 1 over 1. Down 1. What kind of line should that be connecting those, Matthew? Dashed. How do I know that, Brad? Because it does not have the equal to. Good. Okay, how many regions were created? I'm thinking if that's the president, I'm cool with it. But yeah, silence it if it's not. Okay, 4 regions were created, right? It doesn't matter what you call them. You can call this A, B, C, or D, but which region would have been shaded twice? Well, I don't know. What region would be shaded here? What's above the dash or the solid line? It'd be this. All this right here. I'm shading as lightly as I can. What would be below the dash line? What region was shaded twice? A, B, C, or D? D. So you shade this in. And you guys can do it better because my marker can't go light. I mean, it can't, I guess it can, but not very well. So this would be your shaded region. But how do I know that's the actual answer? I just pick a point. What's an easy point to choose in the shaded region that will work? Alex? Yep, 0, 0, which I think is right here. All right, what's 0 minus 4? Is 0 greater than or equal to negative 4? Yes, that checks. What's the opposite of 0? 0 plus 3? Is 0 less than 3? That checks. Somebody give me a point that does not work on either one. And I'm picking Anna Grace. What point would not work on either one?
2, negative
2, negative 2.
3.
So up here?
Yeah.
So this point should not work on either one. Is that what you're answering? Or
Yeah. Well, no.
that'll work on both of them. What point will not work on either one of these inequalities? I may have said that wrong.
Negative 5.
Say that one more time.
Negative 5, negative 5.
Negative 1, 2, 3.
Positive 5.
There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Negative 5. This one might go down here somewhere, and I'm like, I'm not sure, so I'll check it here. All right, let's go with negative 5 minus 4.
9.
Negative 9. Is negative 5 greater than or equal to negative 9? Yep, that checks. So that would fit one of them, but let's see this one. What's the opposite of negative 5?
5.
All right, what's 5 plus 3? Is negative 5 less than 8? Negative 5. Oh, is negative 5 less than 8? Yeah. Did it check on this one? Oh, I don't know what happened here. Negative 5, negative 5.
Oh,
It was positive. Yeah, I'm sorry. I mixed up my numbers. It's positive 5, and I should have just marked it. Okay, let's try that one more time, real quick. What's 5 minus 4? 1. Is negative 5 greater than or equal to 1? No, so that doesn't work. Okay, and then here, what's the opposite of 5? Negative 5 plus 3? Negative 2. Is negative 5 less than negative 2? Yes, so it worked on one, but not the other. So that's in this bottom sheet of region. Does anyone know a point that will not work on either one? Cannot work on either one. Yep, Philip. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 0. So like right there. I hope my graph is good. Okay, what's 4 minus 4? 0. Okay. Is 0 greater than or equal to 0? You know what? That's because this line hits this point right there. So get one more point. That's not going to hit either one of them. Yeah, so which one's not going to work? I want a point that's not going to work on either one. Negative 23 zeros over here. All right. Oh, my. Okay. It's a rough morning. Give me another one.
Say 5.
5 zeros like right here, and that's not going to work on either one. All right. What's 5 minus 4? 1. Is 0 greater than or equal to 1? No. All right. What's the opposite of 5? Negative 5 plus 3? Is 0 less than negative 2? No. That one doesn't work on either one. Do you guys see which points would work, which ones would not? That was not that bad the last class. Okay. Let's go with 181, do number 2. And in order to move on to the last type of problem, 15 of you need to get number 2 right. At the very bottom, 15 need to get number 2 right. So first get it in slope-intercept form, and then graph them, and then choose the correct region. Don't forget solid dashed above, below. Only if you divide it by a negative, or only if you multiplied or divided both sides by a negative. So did you do that? No, so you want to change the direction. Yep. So you just added positive x to both sides on the second one. So yeah, leave it alone. Okay, Jack, what'd you get for the first inequality when you solved for y?
Y is greater than x plus 3.
Did you say greater than or less than? Sorry.
I'll say greater.
Okay, now that's what a lot of people would think, but did you divide both sides by a negative or multiply both sides by a negative? No, so you leave it alone. You can leave it less than. What'd you get for the second one? Michelle, what'd you get for the second inequality?
Y is greater than or less than x.
Greater than or equal to x minus 1? Okay. All right, and then tell me how to graph the whole line. Hagen, top one. Want that line?
You go up 3
Mm-hmm.
and then down 1 and then over to the right.
Let's keep going. And what kind of line? Sorry.
Dash.
Dashed. Tell me how to get the whole thing. Eva, how do you get this whole one right here?
You go down 1 and then down 1 over to the right or left.
Okay, you went down one over to the left one. Yep. And you can go up one over one to the right. And what kind of line is that? Sorry.
Solid.
Solid. Okay. You have how many regions? 4. One of the regions could be a part of your solution. So how many of you shaded this region? For your answer, I should say, for your final answer. All right, this region? This region? This region? Okay, so I'm seeing most hands here, but I'm going to check it. Less than the dash line would be down here. Greater than the solid line would be right here. And what was shaded twice? This region right here. So that's your solution. That's what your answer should look like. So when I'm grading your homework tomorrow, I'm going to say it's above the solid line and below the dash line. And then you're like, okay, that's this region. And then I'm going to say 0, 0 should be a part of your solution. What does that mean? 0, 0 should be a part of your solution. Yeah, 0, 0 should be one of the parts that is filled in. Okay, that's that one. 15 of you, so raise your hand if you got it. I got 20 of you, so pretty good on that. Okay, so we're going to move on to the last problem. If you didn't get it, you can ask me while you're doing homework, or you can ask me now, or on the next problem. Last problem here. This one's a strange one, that's why I'm going to give it to you, and we're going to work on it together. Y is greater than or equal to 0, and x is greater than negative 1. Okay, remember how I told you slope-intercept form? The top one I can kind of see, but there's no what? There's no x. So when there's only one variable, get that variable by itself. You got it right here. Look at this one. It doesn't even have a y. It only has an x, so get it by itself. So we did that for both. And does anyone remember these are special lines? One is a vertical line, and one is a horizontal line. And before I get to how we're going to do it real quick, do you guys remember, did we do this with your class? I told you what's above, what's below. All right, point to what's above. Everyone point to what's above. Good. Point to what's below. Okay? Point to what's above. You can do that pretty quickly. Below. Above. It's to the right. Everything to the right of a vertical line. Below. Anything to the left. Okay, good. We haven't had a vertical or horizontal line yet, but we're going to go ahead and graph these. These are already able to be graphed. You only have to go like 2 or 3. Doesn't even have to go that far. Okay. Does anyone remember what kind of line y is greater than or equal to 0 would be? So it's either horizontal or it's vertical. So it's not both, it's one or the other. Can you guys do this or this? Throw your guess up there. Yeah, I'm looking around like, okay, yeah. Which one? Come on. I got both. Good. Okay, some of you aren't guessing yet. You're waiting for your friend to give the guess so you can get the guess. Okay, this is what you're going to do. Where does y equal 0? Do you guys know where that is? Where does y equal 0? It's right there. Okay, in this case, I should just say, it is a horizontal line, and it's on that x-axis, or it is that x-axis. So that's the horizontal line. That's y is less than or equal to 0. What kind of line is it also? Solid or dashed? Solid, because it says equal to. I just try to make it clear that it's that line. Okay, the second line, therefore, is not horizontal. It's a vertical line. Where does x equal -1? Where does x equal -1? Isn't it right there? So the vertical line, dashed or solid, is right there. That's the vertical line. And then I have to find the right shaded region. How many regions were created, by the way? 4. Are there always 4 regions created? Close. Okay, yeah, let's go with 2 lines. You're right, because it could be 3 lines would create more. Okay, when you have 2 lines, most of the time you have 4 regions created. Sometimes you have 3. Does anyone know where in the world 3 would be created? Close. That's perpendicular, right? What's the other thing?
Parallel.
What happens if you had parallel lines? What would you have? Above both of them, in between 2 of them, and below both of them, right? So that's the only time you're not going to get that. But anyway, what's greater than the horizontal line? What region would be greater than the horizontal line? Everything above it, right? What's greater than the vertical line? Anything to the right? So this region right here should be shaded. It's the region that's shaded twice. What point should work on both of them? Give me one that should work. Let's just keep it easy. One that should work. Andrew? 1, 1. That would be this point right here. Is 1 greater than or equal to 0? Yes. Is 1 greater than -1? Yes. So it works on both. Okay. That's all there is. That's a special case. Sorry? 0, 0 would work. Oh, that's a tough one. You think it's going to work?
Yeah.
Sure or not? How many of you are sure 0, 0 is going to work? Okay, let's check. Is 0 greater than or equal to 0? Yep. Is 0 greater than -1? Good, so it does work. Because it's on the solid line. What about -1, 0? -1, 0? All right, -1, 0. 0 greater than or equal to 0, check. Is -1 greater than -1? No, so it only works on 1. Okay, your homework is 2 through 12 even. Pages 199 to 200. That's your homework tonight. Goodbye, Swivel.